What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, Kellen with Droid Life. And today we're just going to do a quick overview, some software stuff of the Galaxy Note 2 from Samsung. So as you can see, I have the T-Mobile version, but obviously this is going to all of the major carriers in exactly the same form factor, same colors, and all that stuff. This one obviously doesn't have LTE, but it will be the same, experience software-wise, camera, all of that good stuff when compared to the ones from the other carriers. So anyway, let's just talk about it. So obviously outside, we can do a quick tour. So you have 8 megapixel camera with flash. There's your speaker down there. You can see Galaxy Note branding. I believe this is some sort of metallic gray. I'm not exactly sure the exact term that they're using here, but you can see it's sort of like it's almost like brushed metal a little bit, but it's definitely plastic and glossy. And as you can see, it is sort of a fingerprint monster. Anyway, on the bottom, this is where you have the S Pen. So you can actually pull that out. I'll do that in a second. There's where you store it. There is your micro USB port, microphone. On this left side, yeah, we have a volume rocker. On the right side, you have a power lock switch. And on the top, you have your headphone jack. So, it's basically the same exact setup as the Galaxy S3, just a heck of a lot bigger. So we've got 5.5 inches of HD Super AMOLED goodness. You can see that corner to corner there. And, this is non-pentile any longer. So this is about the best display Samsung's ever put out on a smartphone, and it's gorgeous. So other than that, though, you have a front, I believe it's a 2 megapixel camera up front, sensors. You do have a notification light up there, top left. On the bottom, you have your physical home button, which is a lot more flush or softer feeling or something than the version on the Galaxy S3. I don't know, I really like this button. And then you have back and menu buttons as well once those are lit up. So anyway, let's fire it up. Actually have it already up so we can see what's going on here. So it's running Jelly Bean Android 4.1.1. So you can see I've got custom lock screen set up so I can jump into my Gmail, phone, Foursquare, Instagram, or the camera with ease. Otherwise, it's just a simple swipe up and that unlocks it. I do want to say that once you're locked and you hit on the lock button again, there are times when it feels like there's a little bit of blah. It does feel like there's times when there's a bit of a delay. Obviously, it didn't happen there, but anyways, I've noticed it a couple times. Nothing to worry about, though. Don't worry. Other than that, this is, it's TouchWiz, right? It's Jelly Bean, but it's TouchWiz. It's obviously incredibly fast thanks to the quad-core Exynos processor inside and the 2 gigabytes of RAM. So there's definitely no problems performance-wise. I mean, it's just crazy fast. It's just a fast phone. This is sort of new, I believe, with Jelly Bean and TouchWiz, and it's the new folder sort of animation. So the icon to me even looks newer than it used to. And when you press it, you definitely sort of get this animation of the icons like floating out. So anyway, that's kind of cool. One thing I have that has sort of bugged me a little bit. So as you can see, I've got my folder open, right? And I hit home. At first I like this. Now, not so much. So if I go back and hit home again, that folder is actually still open so I can jump back into other apps. It's kind of useful at times. Other times, like now, if I don't want any of these apps, I actually have to hit back to get back out of it to move home screen or something like that. So something they've decided to do. I haven't found an option to turn that off yet. So far, it's okay. Not a huge fan. But anyway, so some other things that are different in here. Well, here's the app drawer, which you've seen a million times. I actually created a folder just called crap, which is the massive list of bloatware that's listed and just other apps I don't use. If you want to create a folder, you grab an icon just like you used to. And instead of, I believe in the Galaxy S3, this menu's down at the bottom. Now they've moved it up top. They create folder or create new page or remove. So you can see I can create a folder right there and name it. And then now I have a folder. And then if I want to drag more apps on, same app, whatever, then I can do that and create a folder. Otherwise, let me drag this out of here. And this one too. Oh, and there's a folder. Anyways, as the same way it was with TouchWiz on the Galaxy S3, you cannot just drag an icon onto one other one and create a folder. They're not doing that. I can't believe they removed that, but they have. So anyways, that's how you create folders on here. If we go into the notification bar, you can see it's definitely Jelly Bean. It's got the clock up top here, and it sort of hides that notification bar up there once you slide the menu down. There is a quick setting there for brightness, so we can adjust that on the fly. You also have your quick toggles up top. And then let me go ahead and take a screenshot. So I'll take a screenshot, and if we go into the notifications area, you can see there are the new Jelly Bean notifications where you can make them smaller if you want, or make them bigger with 2 fingers. You can share, edit directly from there. Obviously, you can swipe these away if you want to, just like you've seen in normal Jelly Bean. If we go ahead and go into settings, see the settings menu is sort of set up just like stock Android, but again, it's skinned for TouchWiz. There is a new home screen mode where you can switch between basic or ultra basic that they're calling easy. I don't know why you would ever want to use easy. There's this new thing called blocking mode. At least I think this is new, and you can toggle that on or off, and you can see it disables incoming calls and all that stuff, and you actually tweak it. You can set time for when you want it to run, things like that. Sound and display, you've seen most of this stuff. Actually, there's this thing in display. It's called smart rotation. So basically, if you're looking at your device and say you lay down sideways, it recognizes that your face is still looking at it in the same way it was when you're sitting upright, so the device won't turn to landscape. It actually stay portrait, which is kind of cool. Smart Stay you've seen where if you're looking at it and it catches your eyes, it should stay awake and all that good stuff. There's a whole bunch of custom software tweaks in here. I mean, Samsung's really, they're really pushing the envelope here. So I'm going to try to show you some of it, especially S Pen stuff, but I just definitely wanted to walk through some of this. There is a one-handed operations setting, so if you, let me go back in there. So if you want to use this giant note with one hand, it actually moves the keyboard over to the side so you can hit it with your thumb and does some other things like that, which is kind of cool. There is Dropbox integration, at least with this T-Mobile version. I believe you get the free 50 gigabytes. You can see other account stuff. Now here's motion stuff, and most of this stuff I believe is all the same as it was on the Galaxy S3. Double tap to get to the top, you press like that and menus go to the top. Direct call, which is where you hold it, you have a contact up, you hold it up to your face and it makes a call. Most of this stuff looks exactly the same to me. Palm swipe to captures that screenshot thing. I hate it though, so I just use power and home to do my screenshots. So anyway, motion stuff's on there. Obviously the S Pen is the big thing. You can see there's all sorts of setting in here for the S Pen. Sound when you detach it, which hand you're using. There's all sorts of stuff you can check in here to save battery. Air view, which is the hovering sort of feature where it's almost like using a mouse. I'll show you that in a little bit. There's also this thing called quick commands where you can draw a line up, and I'll get to this later, on your screen, and then you can draw shortcuts to get to things. So S Pen's a lot more advanced this time over the original Note. And that's pretty much it. Let me just go into About Device so you can see here. Android 4.1.1, so it's definitely running Jelly Bean. And, that's pretty much it as far as settings go. So after that, we have to start talking and looking at, a lot of the new stuff that Samsung's included. So most of that really does come with the S Pen. So if you pull this S Pen out, Samsung's doing this thing where when you pull it out, you can have it'll automatically pull up a page that has all of these sort of S Pen things like the gallery settings. I don't know why Maps has anything to do with it. Or WordPress. So it obviously is just filling apps that I have installed on my phone. But you can customize this to show whatever you want. And then it pulls up this giant sort of note widget. But you can do this for other things. Like I believe when you plug in headphones, you can have it create its own page where it brings up, like a playlist or music and things like that. So it does some kind of cool things. It's not just directed at the S Pen. So let me get out of there. All right, so once we've got the S Pen out, though, let's talk about some of the things we can do. So if we go over here, let's just say I want to screenshot these two. Actually, let's look at the S Pen first. You can see there's a button right there. That basically gets you going anything you want to do. So one of the things you can do is click that in and then draw a box and connect that box. I don't think I actually connected that. Let me do that again. It doesn't have to be a box. It could actually be any shape. But once you connect it, it screenshots that little area. So you can see it screenshotted that little spot that I drew over. And then from there, well, I copied to my clipboard because I didn't play with it. It gives you options if you want to quickly share it or edit it, things like that. You can see there's all kinds of options down here. So I don't want to do anything with it, so I'm just going to close it. But you could also do, like this whole screen up here. Say I just drew a little circle. It screenshots that. So any shape you want, you just have to draw and connect to this sort of lasso tool. After that, if you want to ever take a screenshot of something, you can click and hold the button in and then press the pen to the screen for a second. You can see it just took a screenshot. And then it gives you into your sort of edit mode. So you can go up here and you can start drawing stuff, and then you can erase stuff, you can rotate, and you can crop to be, you know, whichever sort of section you want, and then you can sort of cut in there. There is a lasso and a crop tool there, as you can see. One of the cool things though, if you, I believe it's if you hover slightly and click the button. Yeah, so if you hover just slightly, now I don't know if you can see this. If you hover so that, let's see if I can do this again. Struggling. Yeah, so if you watch up top, so see it's on the eraser, and I'm hovering, and if I click the button in, it switches back to the, it's switching back and forth between eraser and pen. So it's kind of cool, you can draw, and if you say, no, I don't like that, you can just sort of click it again and erase it without having to go all the way up there. So it's just sort of a quick little feature. From there, you can, well, you should be able to share this. I believe if you save, actually that probably just puts it into the gallery. So it's not necessarily a quick share. I haven't played with it enough to know, but there's got to be a way to quick share that. So that's, you know, sort of generic S Pen, taking a quick screenshot. Okay, so a couple other things you can do with the pen then is, so if I go into say like settings and I click the button in and draw a back arrow, try that again, it actually will take me back. So since you can't use the pen to actually press the back or menu key, they've actually built in sort of quick draws. So if you want to use the menu and you have the pen in hand, you just draw, you click the button and draw an up arrow, and you can see there goes your settings or your menu button. You can also draw a line straight up, and it gets you into this quick command thing where you could do, like I could draw W, which I have set up, and that turns Wi-Fi on. You can see switching Wi-Fi, so I don't want to necessarily do that. If we go into this eye right here, oops, no. Yeah, I know it doesn't match. Okay, this will show you, wow, that's interesting. Maybe there's not more than just the ones on there. Anyway, you can see an exclamation mark gives me maps, number gives me call, this little swirl gives me to voice. You can do internet searches. So like if I did a question mark, and then it should search, write a keyword. So I could do droid life. We'll see how that does. Droid life. Jumping to internet. There you go, droid life. So you could search right from there. And you can do this from anywhere. So I can click and draw that up arrow, and then it gets me back to this thing. You can exit out of that if you want, but again, I can draw this back arrow, and it should take me back to wherever I was. So let's talk about some other things then. You can, if you go into the gallery, this is where they've also added some sort of fun stuff. If you hover with this pen, you can see if I hover close enough, it sort of brings me a preview, and then you can sort of look at other photos if you want. So there you go, and then you can go into photos, and there's my giant fluffy cat. So I'm going to go back. You can also look at the photos in different views. So these are just really eye candy. I don't really know why you would look at your photos this way. Same thing with this spiral thing. I don't necessarily know why you would do this. But if we go into this photo album, see I've got lots of cat pictures. Okay, so if you want to do some things like create a new folder, you can actually tap this, create a new folder. And then if you want to actually move pictures to that, you can select a bunch, and then once you get done selecting them, you just click and press on that last one, and you can drag it right into that folder. And then you can click save. I just want to copy those, and then it copied them over, and then here's my new, well, you can see it's already open. Here's my old one. Here is my new one. So they've done some sort of cool things, and again, here's that hover feature again. If we go in and, well, nope, I don't have any videos to show you, but I'll have to record a quick video so we can actually show you that. Okay, so a quick video has been filmed of my cat. So let's go ahead and play that. Actually, let me go back. I believe if you hover over this, no, we'll have to do that to the video player. But we can go in and play this, and actually it does switch to the video player. So here's a video of my cat, and if you hover over the actual bar down here, you can see it's previewing. So I can skip ahead, go backwards, all that good stuff. Obviously, I'm going to drag that back. You can do pop-up play, I believe they're calling this, and that puts the video on top of whatever you're doing. So we can go back home, and the video sticks with me. So that's always kind of cool. And they've added pinch to zoom in it. So you can actually pinch to zoom. And if you're in a bigger app, you can actually go landscape and make it almost full screen. So let's, you can tap to pause, tap to play. Let me go ahead and get out of there. If we go into the actual video player app then, and this is where I wanted to show you, you can actually hover over videos. Alright, so here's the one I just recorded. So if I hover over it, it actually starts playing. So that's kind of cool. You know, it's just sort of a preview to see what's going on there. I don't know if it'll do any of these from Dropbox. Nope, doesn't look like it will. So, you know, that's sort of some basic pen functionality. There's a lot of swiping you do. Oh, actually, I do want to show you how we can, how to use the pen when you're typing and stuff. This is actually sort of cool. Okay, so here I am in a text message and I have the keyboard up. And actually I just want to show you that this keyboard is actually really good. Real good. How about that? So I believe it might be powered by SwiftKey, but it's really good. You can actually also you can swipe. You can swipe as well, but typing it actually does very well, and it doesn't overcorrect. It's actually a really good keyboard, and also the dedicated, because it's big enough, the dedicated number row up there is awesome as well. So let me go ahead and delete that. I did want to show you, if you have the pen out, you can actually switch to the pen keyboard basically, and I can say this is also very cool. And you can see it does a pretty good job. So, and I could just type period, or maybe not, L, period. There we go. Space. Quite the... So, and my chicken scratch is pretty bad. I'm actually trying to write sort of fast, and it's coming up with what I want. You just have to type space each time. So anyway, that's kind of the keyboard. I want to show you that the pen works for that as well. If we get out of there, let's go back over to this page. And there's actually, like if we go into the gallery, let me just go to one of these pictures. And let's go ahead and edit. Advanced edit. Oh. Well, I guess we're not doing that. I was going to just try to edit the thing, but apparently there is, what's Paper Artist? Oh, here we go. Here's an editing program. That was weird that the photo editor is actually not installed. I don't know if you guys saw that. Oh, and this just turns it into paper crap. So that's actually not that fun. I definitely have to try to find an actual app that allows you to draw and actually have some fun on here. Because yeah, Paper Artist is definitely not going to do it. Let's see if there's any in the crap where I hid. No, there's not. So that's sort of interesting that it doesn't appear to be just like a stock editor. Looking one more time. Sorry that I'm doing this as you guys watch along with me. Well, you can do this thing called draw on image, and this is sort of silly. It lets you write on the back of it, so I could just say, "Hi, kitty." And that's actually just happening on the back of the photo, and so I can swipe that, and then it says, "Hi, kitty." So it's kind of dumb. I'm surprised that there's not actually an editor on here. Copy to clipboard, left crop, advanced edit. So it wants me to actually download photo editor from the Samsung app. So it's not built in. So anyways, I might have to show you this later. Actually, you guys sort of understand that, you know, that what photo editing can do. So anyway, yeah, we'll have to get back to that later. But anyway, that's sort of just a quick software tour of the Galaxy Note. Oh, there is one other thing, and it's actually in email. So if you go into the regular email, and this doesn't work in Gmail. So if you go in here and like you use the pen to hover, you can actually hover over messages, and it will it'll show you subject, who it's from, and then you can hover over the message and it'll actually show you a little bit of the message. So it sort of gives you a preview on that. I'm sure they'll do that more with other apps going forward. That's sort of the basics of it, though. I believe you can do that with text messages as well. I don't have any text messages, so I can't show you that. But anyway, that's just a quick software tour, or a really lengthy software tour of what we got going on in the Galaxy Note. We'll have the full review soon, or maybe you're reading this or watching this through our actual review. But anyways, we're Droid Life. Peace.